Welcome back to Credecast, the podcast where we talk everything faith, mindset, and self-improvement. I'm Josh K, and today we are going to be talking about this podcast. So this is the first official episode of the podcast, and I believe it would be only right for this to be an introduction to me, to the podcast, and to what it's going to be about, what value you could hopefully extract from this, and what you could look forward to. I'm a person who likes conversations with people, and there was a friend of mine that I wanted to interview. I ended up getting on a video call with him, and it was after that call with him that I decided that this is something that I would love to do. I'm somebody who loves having conversations with people, so I like to surround myself with the right kind of people, with the right mindset, and I've always wanted to have a community of people with similar interests that can share ideologies and, help each other become better, hold each other accountable, build a community. So that is what I'm trying to do here. I've created a Discord for anyone who's willing to join, where we can network, learn, help each other, share books, share resources, whatever it may be, just to help each other grow and understand things. Because if the things I know now, if I knew them a couple years ago, or while I was a couple years younger, I would be in a much different position and a much different place than I am today. So I feel like creating the right communities is a way to bridge that gap in time of discovering things on our own, when, with people, or with the right people, we can be years ahead of, where we normally would have been on our own. So that is my vision for the community of this podcast. Join the Discord, and let's have a community. As for the name, Credecast, it's a name that I feel is perfect for this podcast. So this podcast will be a solo podcast and a podcast where guests will come on occasionally. I thought of the word Credecast because I kind of nabbed a different podcast a little bit. There's a podcast called CEO Cast, and it's a podcast where the host interviews different CEOs and different entrepreneurs, which is something I'd love to do here as well. But as a kid growing up, I always had this faith and this belief that I'd make something out of myself. I still do to this day. I don't know how far we've gone on the plans, but I still have the same faith. And I was looking for synonyms. I was Googling synonyms for belief, the word belief. And I came across the word credence. And it just stuck with me for some reason. I don't know if I thought the word was cool or whatever. And for a while, I just stuck with the word. And when I was thinking of a name for this podcast, I thought of how I could incorporate that. And the word creed, which is a short form of credence, which basically means to give proof to something, to give belief in something. It's like having faith in something. And creed is to believe as well. I said, why don't I just make it Credecast? It's a cast of people who believe, who have faith, who believe they can be better, believe in, working on themselves, believe in a better future for themselves, their families, whatever it may mean to, the people listening. But I'm not a guru. I'm not an expert, and I don't claim to be. I am not trying to act like I'm better than anyone. I'm just a student of life, honestly. And I'm also looking to learn from people who have things to share, and which is why, as you'll see, I speak to people, interview people, and try understand what makes them tick, what makes them motivated, and try learn and incorporate into my own life to become better. So I'm in no way, shape, or form a guru or somebody here telling you what to do, but I'm just here sharing my experiences, hoping that it shows you a different perspective to maybe a situation you're going through, or just an outlook or view on somebody else's life, or what life may look like through my eyes. Yeah, that's why mindset is one of the things we discuss on this podcast, because I feel like the mind is where a lot of us go wrong and some people go right. And it's definitely one of the things that make or break how we live, whether we have a successful life or not. And successful is relative, of course, but I believe the mind is the one thing we have significant influence over. And the more we master it, the better we become. Again, I'll mention there's a Discord. It's called The Creed, and you can join if you want to be part of the community where we hold each other accountable, learn from each other, and who knows, maybe one of you can be a guest on here. I'm interested in speaking to anyone who has a story and willing to share something interesting. This is a platform where that is accepted. So join the Discord. Also tune in on other platforms, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. Our episodes are posted there. There's also content on Instagram. And if any of all I've just said sounds interesting to you, subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications, and let me know what you think. Down in the comments, I'll be there.